Something we get asked a lot is how hot does it get in the greenhouse? And that is a great question, honestly. So in the atrium space where like dinner and dancing is happening, there's a ridge vent on the roof that opens, and the sidewall opens, and then we have all these big doors. So there's a lot of great airflow. And it's shaded, and there's fans. So it actually feels, on a hot summer day, it feels more comfortable in there than it would feel to be standing in the sun.
We could get the temperature pretty dang close to the same outside as inside.
Yeah. So it's, similar to a tented wedding, but actually better airflow than a tented wedding.
A lot better airflow.
But with that in mind, we do highly recommend your ceremony to be later in the day, maybe a 5 o'clock ceremony. That way, after the ceremony, when everybody's in the courtyard, the building has this in the shade, there's airflow back here too. So to avoid the hot part of the day.
And just to also avoid your guests being bored.
Being bored, yeah. We say there's like an ultimate fun. Everybody kind of hits their max. So if you start the wedding too early, people kind of tend to leave a little early. So our gates open at 9 in the morning. So that is when you can come in. Everything will be set up, ready to roll. You can start decorating right away. One of us or one of our staff will be here. Hopefully Bitsy would be here too. To welcome you and just like answer any questions. We'll be here to welcome your other vendors. And then throughout the day, someone is here as your host, whether that's Al, myself, or one of our other staff. But we're here to make sure, if your decor team needs water for filling up vases, or if they need
a ladder,
or to rearrange, maybe you had a last minute change and you want some stuff switcheroo, we love to help with that.
And also we love to give a little bit of advice, where do we put this thing, or where do we put that thing? And
yeah. For sure.
We love it when weddings go smooth.
Absolutely, yeah. We want your day to be not a lot of hiccups or anything like that. And then in the evening, the end of the night, so come 11 o'clock, that is when it's the last song is done. Hopefully the dance floor is packed and the energy is still so good. And it's the end of the night, the bar closes, and then there's about an hour window of you can give some goodbyes and clean up. And the cleanup, really, what we ask is that you just gather up your personal belongings. Like any decor that you're like, this is garbage, it can go in the trash. If you want to take it home, that goes home with you. All the stuff from the getting ready spaces, that goes home with you. And then our staff does the actual cleanup, like wiping the tables, mopping the floors, doing the
we deal with the tables, we deal with the garbages.
Yeah.
That's not you, it's just you get the stuff that you brought.
Yeah.
That's it.
And your caterer, if there was any leftover food, they would have already packaged up that for you to take home too. So it's mostly just having a few people in charge of your decor takedown and whatnot. So so then we lock up the gates at midnight, and the day will have been amazing. And now I'm starting to ramble and I don't know what else to say. But that's a lot of the stuff that I feel like is asked. Here we are at the bar. So we always have 2 bartenders on site, and they are some of the coolest people you will ever meet. We have a lot of local friends. Some of them are teachers, so be good to the bartenders. And they're here to make sure your guests have a good time too. So you can do a few things when it comes to the bar. We don't have any bar minimums. So if you are like, you know what, we don't actually want to host anything at the bar, our guests can buy their own beverages, that is totally fine. So they would walk up to the bar and they can it's called a cash bar, but you can still pay with credit card or your phone, any of those things.
That means your guests are buying their own drinks.
Yeah. If it's hosted, that means you paid for it ahead of time and it's free for your guests. And you can do that as well, or you can do a combination. Most people like to have a few things that are free for their guests, and then when that's gone, your guests can still buy other stuff, so it's not like you're going to run out of beverages.
You're not going to run out here.
But everything that is served at your wedding has to be served across the bar by our certified bartenders, purchased by the Atrium. So we actually have the license in the state of Wisconsin to buy malted beverages. So your beer, seltzers, cider, champagne, but not any hard liquor. So we do not have mixed drinks like cocktails. So there are a few fun things within our wine license that we can get. Some pre-mixed margaritas and mojitos have been popular this summer, and they're actually it's like an agave-based wine. So those are all things. I will send you a bar order form, and you can see pricing, and that's all determined about 3 weeks before the wedding is when I place those orders, and you'll have your RSVPs back by then. You'll kind of know what your guest count is at, so we can help. You're not going to run out, even if your hosted beverages run out. That's always the big concern. It's like, we don't want to not have stuff. So,
we have it.
Like if you hosted a case of wine, 12 bottles of wine, your guests can choose from what we have, and then the bartenders keep track. So like once 12 bottles has been consumed, now it's going to be cash bar. So your guests can still buy wine, but it's not free anymore, which is okay. Nobody expects to drink free all night.
But some of the biggest concerns I think that we have with the bar is that there's no hard liquor, and then we don't allow vehicles to be left overnight. So, we encourage people to figure that out beforehand, whether it's shuttles or designated drivers.
Yep. And our bartenders are pretty good about making sure people have a safe way home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They'll have a tip jar out here, so we don't require things like bar minimums. We don't require gratuity. We don't require those
service
things.
Charges. And because we don't have the liquor, the hard liquor, you don't have to pay for security either. So there really aren't a lot of extra fees with the bar that can sometimes happen. So, yeah.
Party on.
Party on.